Yes, of course, and of course, next up we're going to get into our discussion of the week. So if you do have any comments, I'll be reading out some of your tweets again, the hashtag 10over10. So come with me this way and meet our panel of the week. Welcome everybody to 10 over 10. So this week, we want to have a discussion and keep it real like we do every single week. And this week we are going to be talking about something that affects all of us because we're all online. Like, how do you know when you are being catfished? Do you guys know about being catfished? Where someone creates a fake profile, they follow you online, wanaanza kusema, oh, I'm this person, you get to know them, kidogo kidogo wanaanza kuitisha. It could be money that they're asking you for. It could be photos that they're asking you for. And this person is just lying about their identity. And a lot of people have found themselves in tricky situations where they're being extorted or they're being blackmailed. Someone saying, if you don't send me this, I'm going to leak your photos, etc., etc. It's a very deadly thing, and it's happening all across the world. In Kenya, definitely no exception. So we have some social media experts and also someone who has gone through this experience. So we're going to talk to them. I want to start with introductions. Hi, Kobe. Just talking to the mic, tell us your name, a little bit about yourself.
My name is Mombi, but most people call me Kobe. I am a social media specialist, let me not say expert. Okay. We're still in the learning process. And I work with different organizations and different personalities, and I'm grateful to be here.
All right, thanks for being here. Next.
My name is Brian Bunde. I'm a social media strategist. Been doing this for the past 7 years. Yeah, and I have a verified account.
You're verified. Oh, okay. Gotta drop that out there. Thanks for being here on 10 over 10. Lad?
My name is Caroline Karimi. I am not a social media expert or one of those, but I have encountered cyberbullying and catfishing from various platforms, so yeah, we'll discuss about that later.
We want to start with you.
Oh, start with me.
Go ahead and start with your story so we can just have a basis for this discussion. So tell us about the catfishing and the online bullying. How did that happen, on which platform, and yeah.
Okay, where do I start from? I think I have encountered cyberbullying on all three platforms. That's Twitter, Facebook, and Telegram and what's not. So what exactly happened was, sometime last year in October, I was robbing a matatu, and so my first, after I did the whole due process of going to the cops and whatnot, I figured, okay, it will take a while to get this story out to the public. So I went on my social media platform on Facebook, and I did the story. That was being at around 8 or 9 p.m. By the time it was getting to midnight, it had about 5,000 shares. Then under there were various comments that were being made. Some were good, some were really positive, like guys were really trying to find out what was going on, how they could help. But there was a few others who would come in and, pretend that they know me, and they'd start a fake rumor. So some of them actually went on various platforms and did a separate story that I bought the news presenters who are carrying the story, and others, oh, she drives, so it's a lie. I mean, we know this girl doesn't take matatus. And the first reaction was, okay, yeah, so I drive, but have you a reason that once in a while I want to be like everybody else? I want to take public means. And then at that particular time, I was still an admin at Kilimani Moms, at Uncensored. And now some of the ladies who I probably had a fallout with came online and found a basis to bully me. They'll be like, oh, it's a girl, I thought she's this and this and this. And it was really discouraging, basically because I was trying to put out a story about what was happening in matatus. Guys are getting robbed, and it's really not your fault. You can't get into a matatu thinking, I'm going to be robbed today, so you go high alert and whatnot. You enter a matatu every day, knowing you're boarding it here and alighting at this point. And all through, your mind never goes to, today will be the day I'll be helped or whatnot.
Well, so here's the thing about social media, is that everybody has an opinion and everyone is free to share it. Such as in her case, where she was trying to honestly share a story about, guys, I was robbed, and people started bullying her for it. What do you guys think would have been the appropriate response to that?
I think, well, what it comes to social media, the fact that we are our own editors, and as you understand, most of us don't have the experience or the expertise to know how, to respond to such a situation. So if you see most of our platforms, and that's where now we cross the line into cyberbullying, because perhaps you respond in a very honest way. Ideally, it's what I would tell my friend. So if my friend came and told me, oh, I was robbed, there's a certain way I would respond to them, and I feel it's okay to respond that way to everyone, which is not the case, because we have the benefit of that relationship. So most people don't have that boundary. They don't understand that boundary between, how you use social media and how friends interact with each other, and where to draw the line.
There's no way to enforce, like, you guys chill, like this is online, it's not in person.
And most times when you try to enforce, it's when now we start trolling each other now, because now all your friends will come on the post and they'll start commenting and they'll start...
Is it ever appropriate to respond to a cyberbully or a troll or someone who's just all in your mentions for no reason?
Okay, the best thing is that I'm also a troll.
Oh my God! So, a troll! This is the face of a troll. I finally get to see you face to face.
Okay, for me, I never take things personally, because on social media, things are at times are serious, at times guys are actually joking about it. So for trolls, professional trolls, try not to go deep into someone's life. Try and make it into a joking way, so in such a way that if I meet you out there or even here in the studio, I can just say high five you and stuff like that.
You said you don't take stuff personally.
Yes.
Is that just your personality, or is it, not everyone is as easygoing as you?
But you see, social media, you encounter different people. You get guys who, when you say something, automatically they flip out. But if you're not the type of person who can easily flip out, social media is for you. Yeah, but especially the problem now with Kenyans. The problem now with Kenyans is that with social media, guys. There are two types of guys. The guys who easily just definitely go online and troll other guys and just make sure they get into your nerves. So if you're tweeting about politics, they make sure that if you're posting, let's say, about a different politician who they don't side with you, they'll definitely jump on your neck. But the other guys will definitely just come and be easy on you. So
I feel like you're like the leader of KOT. And the more you're talking, I'm just like hashtag KOT on Twitter. You're one of those guys. I want to talk about catfishing, because the beauty and maybe the detriment of having internet access is that you can be anyone you want. A 63-year-old man can get online and say, hi, I'm 23, I'm looking for this and that, befriend a young chick and start asking her for things like that. Happens all the time. And you said you've had an experience with catfishing. Have you ever been contacted by somebody saying that they're someone that they're not? All right, tell us about that.
Actually, one of the perks of being admin on Kilimani Moms and being very active in those women's groups is the fact that you would get very, very many requests. So you have to. So I got to a point where I had to spam my inbox. So you'd get men, clearly, and they start, hi, how you doing? Oh, you look lovely, lovely body, lovely this, lovely the other. Then they draw your attention because they're complimenting you. As a girl, you want to hear compliments, definitely. Right. Then it spirals down to sending your nudes, or they send you your nudes and you're like, hold up, fam. You're like, hold up, fam. I don't want your news. And then in the process of communication, you actually, once they forget who they are, and then one day they actually send their real photo and you're thinking, whoa, you're like Methuselah, like hold on.
Yeah.
I thought you were 20-something, So,
unfortunately, we're all looking for an emotional connection of some sort. And if somebody comes along, gives you compliments, it could even be like just a random person who wants money from you, but you're emotionally vulnerable and you're just willing to, so how do we differentiate who's real, who's not? Is there even a way to do that?
Okay, it's actually very possible, because for for we trolls, the trick that we do.
I like that you're owning it, but I'm also a little bit scared.
Okay, one thing that I learned is that when you go on social media and you realize that a chick has only one picture, how is that possible?
Yeah.
So for me, I usually tell that chick, post picha na gazeti ya leo na kijiko kwa mkono
with my name on it.
Yes, na kijiko kwa mkono ya left, and as you tell them stuff that you're sure if you Photoshop, if you Photoshop, it's going to appear.
That's a good point. How about you? How do we tell?
I would have just said the same thing. It's about just going into their profile. There are basic things you can check, like he said, the pictures. There's some guys who like send you a request on Facebook and you check their profile. It's either funny pictures that they picked up from the internet, or so I'm like, okay, you've been on Facebook for like the past 3 years, you didn't even have one or get tagged by someone or something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's it becomes very fishy.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, that's where I know, okay, this friend request, no, I'm not going to accept it. Yeah.
I've had people steal my photos and create an account and start talking to other people, and people really actually think they're talking to me. So, but it's you know, the internet is free, so it's absolutely possible to do that. There's also the issue of oversharing. You know, so how much do you tell someone that you've never met physically in person about yourself?
I think over time I have grown a thick skin. Even with my friends, there are things that I tell these particular friends I don't tell these other ones. So on social media platforms, what I do is I check your profile. If we don't have anything in common, I'll play along with you. Like, I think I kind of take now Brian's role. I start not spearheading, like, okay, could you touch Anaya, you want them to talk more about themselves than as opposed to me talking about myself. That way I get so much information about them, and then along the way they start conflicting their stories. So you're like, hold up, you said this and then now you're saying this, So I normally don't share so much online anymore. I'm very specific on what I put online. My updates, my status, they have nothing to do with what is currently happening to me. It's just off the top of my head, or I just want to be a bit controversial, and there are people who are just waiting for that controversy to start. So you just play into their feelings and have a good day.
Would you ever meet one of these people online? I mean, in person? Would you ever, maybe you've been talking to that chick with that one picture, and you say, our relationship has gone to the point where I need to meet you at Java. Would you take that step? No?
Trust me, you might find yourself mugged or stuff like that, so I'd rather just avoid.
There's an instance I could share of a friend of mine who was sharing her story on Facebook, and it's the same instance of catfishing, where this person really shared the story on how they're unwell, and so they even got to the point of getting their number, and it got to the point that this friend of mine now wanted to go and meet, only to realize that this was really fishy. So for me, the outcome of that story was probably these guys would have kidnapped her. I mean, she's a big personality per se, so maybe they were thinking the ransom would be a lot. So, I mean, instances like that, I wouldn't advise anyone to go and meet. And if you do, make sure it's public and you have very many people around you. If you really feel that you need to meet this person, but I wouldn't advise on meeting.
I mean, we are living in scary times, and the things that you're talking about, kidnapping, people starting to stalk you, it's very real. I want to take some final comments from each of you. We're going to start on this end of just how, especially the young people represented here, can stay safe online. Okay, we can't stay 100% safe, but we can be safer with our practices on social media.
I'd say if it's on Facebook, just check, like somebody said, you can't be on Facebook for 5 years and you have 0 friends or 0 photos online. Just do due diligence. Like when you go on Facebook, there's where somebody lives and whatnot. Just check on that. If you don't have any conversations going on, don't play into their emotions. But there's some who have really mastered the art. So be careful on the information that you're giving to the other person. If you don't know them in person, don't share personal information, or if you have to, keep it very minimal, like let them just know your name, not your number, until you're very sure of the person you're talking to.
Before we move on to you, I'm going to take some Twitter comments here. I have the Envy saying, I believe social media is about being yourself, but picking your battles carefully. Dennis K says, social media gives people an opportunity to be someone else. Never meet people with cards /celeb/memes as their profile pictures. You wonder, right? Like, you know, where's the real picture of this person? Pressure says, we have to avoid sharing a lot of information about our lives on social media. It exposes us to risk. Final comments from you, Brian.
One thing I would advise is that some platforms like Twitter, guys are like families. So if, let's say, you're out there and you're curious about how Brian Bunde looks, easily you can just search for his name, then you tag other guys, then automatically you can get how he converses with other guys. So automatically you can be able to realize that if this person is actually legit in terms of what they actually really want and what they want to do for you or to you. Also, you can just ask them for their number and M-Pesa them 10 bob. You can easily get
the government.
Yeah, you can get the government names and everything. Or for me, at times I just Google someone's name. Then automatically I can just get to know how this person looks, where they study, where they work, and stuff like that.
And whether they are a troll like you. Okay. Obi, final comment.
For me, I think mostly it goes into like we talked about, it's just being careful how you share information. Make sure you don't share everything about yourself, because it makes you a very easy target for catfishers. You know, these guys will always post pictures, where they are, what time it is, where they're going next. Avoid, I know it's very tempting, but avoid such situations, because it makes you a very easy target, and that's why people will reach out to you and try and catfish you. Yeah, so let's all try and be safe online.
Okay, give it up for our panelists here on 10 over 10 today. Thank you so much for coming through and sharing your experiences. Hopefully everyone here has learned a thing or two about being a little bit more safer, but it's a little bit safer online and sharing a little less information. 10 over 10 continues next. We're going to move on to